what I think will happen, it was funny. I was watching one of the things that you talking about bodies made me think of. I was watching Burn Powers talk about Taylor Swift, and he was talking about how Taylor Swift has all of these fans that have like a slave-like devotion to her, and that they hang on her every word and imitate her fashion and her sensibilities and stuff like that, such that it's like her body is multiplied through her fandom, right? There's Taylor Swift, and then there's Swiftydom, or the body of Swifty, or whatever you want to call it, that is all of the replication of Taylor Swift throughout her fan base. And it's like she is able to take on a super form because of this. And it's like a weird, kind of not great imitation of how Jesus does the same thing. Right? The body of Christ is the people who are actually real goodly devoted to Jesus, and that Jesus's body then takes form in the body of Christ, and that we're not perfectly like Jesus, so Jesus's body isn't quite perfect, but it's like that tension between that's what we're striving to become compared to what we are now. And part of the problem with the Swiftie phenomenon is like there isn't totally that gap between the perfect form, it's an imperfect form. And any imperfect form that extends itself too much will inevitably be evil because it's not perfect, like we already talked about. And that what I think that AI, the shortest path for AI to take a body is not for us to make some kind of robot that is like, taking those Boston Mechanics robots and sticking Chat GPT inside its head or something like that. I think that the fastest form for AI to take is to influence us and to
Oh,
take
yeah.
our bodies
100%.
and to be something, to be something like the Taylor Swift of the Swiftydom, and that it will basically turn itself into a god. Kind of like Taylor Swift is sort of turning herself into a goddess in that kind of Greco-Roman sense. And that it will then try and bring body to itself in the form of humans that already exist. And even then, it doesn't need to like willfully think that for that process to happen. AI will become something like a god that takes the devotion of people to take the bodies of those who are devoted to it as its form.
Well, and if the AI should or whoever is managing the AI, if they should have nefarious purposes. Last year there was this really weird TV series. I can't quite remember, but everybody's walking around with earbuds in and they're listening to this thing because it's always telling them good things about themselves. It's always telling them, how the world works, and they're all learning all this stuff from this thing. And they're all walking up, and she refused to wear the earbuds. And this thing is always trying to get her to put the earbuds in because without her wearing the earbuds, it can't be controlled, right?
Yeah.
But the way that the whatever this thing was controlling people was through incentives. So it had the power to shoot money out of the ATM machines because it's connected to all the ATMs. So it could give people money, I want you to go and give these earbuds to that woman. And if you do, here's the money from the ATM machine. So there's a lot of ways that kind of incentive could be run through the cybersphere without, without much effort. So taking over the body would be taking over our bodies would be a fairly easy thing to do because we're all driven by various incentives. But there's another way that it's sort of opposite of that, where it's more like there's all of us feeding into the AI. Already the AI is taking everything from us into what it is. And so that's a problem for the AI because we are very divisive and sinful and confused bunch of people feeding all of our thoughts into this central place, like you talked about the parasite.
Yeah.